All right, I think we're live. All right, I'll try to lift this up without it unplugging. All right, what's going on, YouTube? Hooked on Football Podcast. This is our first episode live. We had a little bit of technical difficulties with our last episode, so we had to restart. But anyway, we are breaking down college football week 0 action from yesterday. As you know, Notre Dame and USC played. I know there's a couple other games that we might touch on a little bit, but for the majority of the show, we're going to be looking at USC and Notre Dame. So to start us off, Notre Dame Navy wasn't the most entertaining game. I mean, it was a blowout, 42-3. However, though, it was pretty fun to see Notre Dame's kind of their strengths and weaknesses looking forward to the season. They came out right away with Audric Estime just running it down Navy's throat. They had no answers to stop Audric. I believe he finished with, for rushing, where did my stats go?
16 for 95.
Okay.
And a
touchdown. So, I mean, I think he adds another piece to Notre Dame's offense. I think he's 6 foot. They said 230. Tough to bring down, also super quick. So he adds another element to that offense. He actually, too, is a pretty good receiver. He had a couple good catches there. He had that one-hand grab that was a rare bad pass from Hartman. I mean, I think it was only like 3 or 4 yards, but still he kind of showed his potential there to be not only a rushing running back, but also passing running back too. But that's where that was kind of the number one takeaway from me right away. There was a couple major takeaways that I think we could get into here. But oh shoot. Hey, can you still hear?
Yeah, why?
Okay. It looked like it was unplugged, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, no, you're still coming through.
But before we move on to any other or the rest of like Notre Dame breakdown, did you have anything to add about the rushing attack?
No, not besides that it looked really good.
Okay.
And I thought, Estime is a really good running back. Obviously, he looked impressive. Although they ran I think they played like 4 running backs. 4 running backs had 4 carries or more. And they even had another guy that took a carry, although that was probably late. But I thought the main reason they looked so good is that freaking O-line was – I thought their O-line was impressive as hell. They kept running behind that left side. Yep. I can't think of their names now, 76 and 78. They were mammoths, and they were blowing some massive holes in the Navy defense.
But yeah, Joe Alt, the left tackle.
Yeah, those 76, 78, I can't remember. They look really similar. They're just like 2 massive white dudes. They were just destroying Navy's defense. I'd actually be curious to go back and see how many times they ran behind the left side. It was a lot. I just feel like they just kept going through it. Why not? They were blowing open holes. Then Estime's a stud, so you give him 5-yard downhill start, he's going to make something happen.
Right. And I don't think either the right side of the line, they're no slouches either. I think that I'm pretty sure the tackle over there, his name, I want to say it's Blake Fisher, because like what we talked about in the last podcast, he's a future first-round draft prospect, but they just happen not to go over to his side as much.
Yeah, no, the whole line is a strength and really good. I just noticed they kept running behind that left side in particular. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't a weakness. That's not to call the right side a weakness, because they did run behind the right side and had success too. So
yeah,
that was my takeaway. Is their O-line was really impressive.
Yeah, super dominant. But then I guess getting into the other takeaway, because that was a major takeaway for me. The second one, probably super obvious to people that were watching, which was Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman, going 250 yards, 19 for 23, QBR of just around 100, 97.9. I just he looked very poised in the pocket, very very comfortable. Didn't rush anything. Marcus Freeman, he was talking about after the game how he was very excited that about just how savvy Sam Hartman is about making pre-snap reads. He's very excited this year for Notre Dame to have a quarterback who can make those reads, which kind of reading between the lines might be a little bit of a slight to last year's quarterback. But I think if you're Notre Dame, you should be feeling pretty optimistic for this team's future.
Yeah. To go off that, though, I thought Notre Dame did look really good. I think they looked better than both of us expected. I mean, we both said Friday that we thought they'd make a statement yesterday and they would win handedly, but I didn't even know for sure if they'd cover the 20.5, mainly because I didn't know exactly what the offense would look like. I didn't know how efficient the passing attack would look, and it looked really good. But I think, to be fair, Navy also didn't look very good. I was pretty unimpressed all around with Navy. The offense is just, I mean, it's that, triple option. It's really different. And they've got that new head coach. And I think he's trying to change up philosophy a little bit. So it wasn't a good Navy offense. I don't think the defense is that particularly great either. So Notre Dame looked really good. I hesitate. Like I said, I mean, Notre Dame looked as good as they could have. So they should be really happy with their performance, but Navy looked really bad. So I don't know. It's something in a way, it's a little bit tricky to know what to take away from that, because I didn't think Navy looked very good.
Right. I think I saw the QB rating for Navy's quarterback was like 19 or something. Not very good. But I don't know.
Hartman did look good, though. You're right. I mean, 19 and 23 doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, that's a really good day at the office. And I thought the receivers made good plays too. That was my big question mark, is what the receivers would look like. But I thought they all looked like studs. That Jaden Greathouse, I think you said, is a true freshman. He was a leading receiver yesterday. 3 receptions, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
7 average.
Yeah. No, the Notre Dame offense is going to be, and again, I don't think the Navy defense was great, but if Notre Dame offense is going to look that impressive this year, they're going to be a sleeper team for the playoff, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we know the defense is really good. Again, I know they didn't really get tested with that weird triple option, but I do think the defense is the real deal.
Yeah, right. Like what we were talking about, you didn't really get to see the secondary at all. Actually, you did kind of. They were, luckily, quarterback made some pretty bad passes, but a couple of times those receivers were wide open.
Yeah, they did have a couple.
But I mean,
kind of got lulled to sleep a little bit, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, that's actually supposed to be a strength for Notre Dame. So hard to get a read there, but kind of bouncing around here. I did want to touch on, since we're on defense, that last year Notre Dame was horrible red zone defense, and they did. Navy came knocking one drive, and they did make a huge goal line stand. I think that's where they got the one field goal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So defense did prove themselves from last year making that stand. I know it is, I've heard people talk about this, breaking this down. Like everyone is people that are on the Notre Dame hype. I've seen people like saying like, oh, well, it's just Navy. But I mean, they did put a thumping on them. I mean, really 42-0. You look at last year, it was, a 3-point game. So I think this is a completely different Notre Dame team from last year, with Sam Hartman leading the way.
Yeah, I think the offense is just so much more explosive. He gives so many added dimensions with his ability to throw the ball. They also have the
Yeah.
new offensive coordinator. I can't remember his. Do you remember his name?
Yeah, Gerard Parker.
Yeah, from West Virginia, which not overly noteworthy. Or, I mean, he's not like a name I feel like you hear dropped a lot, but West
Yeah,
Virginia's
no.
always had a pretty impressive passing attack. And, you know,
Yeah.
Hartman comes from Wake Forest, which obviously had a really impressive passing attack. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if Notre Dame can reliably throw the ball, we know they can run. They can run last year. They're going to be able to run this year. They've got an awesome offensive line, a bunch of running backs. If they can throw it reliably, yeah, they're going to be tough.
Mhm.
Really tough. Like I said, they looked as good as they could have yesterday against Navy. I don't think they really could have played much better.
Yeah.
But like we talked about Friday, schedule's not too terrible. They go to NC State in a couple weeks. That'll be a pretty good test.
Uh-huh.
But outside of that, I don't know who they play next week. I don't know, next week, and then after NC State, they basically have two gimme games, and then Ohio State comes to town. That'll be a fun
Yeah,
one.
that would be
That
a
should be two
great game.
undefeated teams in South Bend. That's gonna be a massive game.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I really don't know what else you could ask for from Notre Dame. I mean, maybe like a 50-0 victory, but I mean they were close enough, 42 to
Yeah.
3. I think really the only really weakness you take away from uh that game, maybe some nitpicky stuff on offense, defense, but really I think the one thing that you might be a little scared about is the kicking game. Uh, Spencer Strader from, I think he's from South Florida. Yeah, that's right, South Florida. He had, I mean, 42-yard field goal, but for Division One and for a powerhouse like Notre Dame, that should be pretty close to a gimme. And he missed it. And missed it, if I remember, pretty badly
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah, he's from
Um,
the right hash and pushed it right. It never really had a chance.
yeah. So that's definitely, I think, if you got to be glass half empty, that's definitely could be a scare because kicking is everything in those close games when you get
Yeah.
down the road.
Well, I think they put the stat up. He was 9 of 13 wherever he came from.
Hmm.
If that sounds right, which makes him now 9 of 14, which I can't think what that percentage would be off the top of my head, but it's not great. It's
Yeah,
not ideal because, yeah, like you said, you get into those games against Ohio State. They have USC on the schedule. They go to Clemson later in the year. I mean, yeah, you'll take the points however you can get them. So that's definitely gonna be something to watch for them. Every unit looked super sound. We actually didn't see him punt, so I don't know. I assume they probably
yeah,
had a
that's
halfway
true.
decent punter, but pretty impressive. They did not have to punt once yesterday.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I would agree. That was pretty much the only thing you saw yesterday and went, that unit didn't look particularly great, but it was one field goal. Tough to say. Like I said, I'm just
yeah,
saying he
right,
was 9 of 13 where he came from, which I don't know. Without breaking down every kick, it's not great, obviously, but
right.
yeah, I agree. That's probably the one thing to keep an eye on
Yeah,
because it'll matter down the stretch in those tight games.
yeah. But I mean, I think we can kind of move on
Yeah.
from there. That's kind of all there is to break down there for Notre Dame. So moving into the second big game of the day for week 0, USC, San Diego State, with the final score of 56-28. Um, this game, I feel like there's a little bit more to kind of tackle here. I mean, obviously, first thing that stands out, just looking at the score, USC giving up 30, 28 points, so close to 30 points on defense. We talked about that on Friday. Was USC's defense going to be improved from last year? Honestly, um, I didn't really see a huge improvement. Um, we
Yep.
had, I know what I'm trying to say. San Jose State they had a pretty, like I said, they had a pretty good quarterback, Siobhan or Shevin, I think might be Cordero. He
Yeah.
really lit up USC. He had, he had 200 yards passing, but he had about 50 yards rushing too. very, very quick in open space.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say about the defense. I think Friday I gave the defensive averages for USC last year. I think
Yeah,
they allowed on average 424 yards a game and 29 points a game. And yesterday they gave up 396 yards of total offense and 28 points, which is like the ever so slightest improvement from last year
yeah,
against an offense, which I know, San Jose State, everyone says the offense is decent and they have
yeah,
some play. I mean, they have some nice players. Like you said, that Cordero is a really nice player. They had
yeah,
that Nash, that receiver, made some really impressive receptions. He had 3 touchdowns. But let's be real, relative to Oregon, Notre Dame at this, some of the other
yeah,
offenses they're gonna see, like
yeah.
Pac-12's got some impressive talent up there. They've got a lot of good quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know. Whereas Notre Dame, I was impressed by, and I thought they looked better than expected, and I thought their offense improved, which was the area that needed to improve, and it appears to have improved by a lot.
Yeah,
USC kind of looked like the same to me, like
yeah.
Caleb Williams is still a stud. They've got freaking a smorgasbord of skill players, all who are insanely talented. Who's at number 1?
Zachariah Branch.
Yeah, that guy's a freaking. I mean, there's a bunch of studs over there, but he was impressive, especially returning the ball. He's just freaking lightning in a bottle. But I mean, that's like USC's always like that. Like we
Yeah,
know they have skill players. Defensively, I don't know. It looked like last year. Again, they gave up almost the
yeah.
exact same stats they gave up all last season. Gave up 24 first downs yesterday.
Right.
Allowed 5 of 13 on third down. Well, here's another thing
Horrible.
I noticed.
Yeah,
So, whereas Notre Dame looked really good yesterday, and we thought that Freeman would have them ready to play and they'd come out and look sharp. Just an interesting note, Notre Dame had 1 penalty yesterday for 10 yards. I think it was a false start. I kind of feel like I
wow.
even remember it. USC had 8 penalties for 57 yards, which to me, I mean, is just kind of, it's just first game of the year, kind of sloppy. I kind of
Right.
thought that was USC yesterday. I don't know. I mean, I know they put up 56 and, that's awesome, but I don't know. I just wasn't really that impressed with them.
Yeah, right. It looked like to me they didn't really come out ready to play. They're a little
Yeah.
lethargic.
Even that one touchdown from Caleb Williams where he fumbles the snap and then, great heads up play, all that type of stuff. That's just a broken play. And, again, he's an insane talent. So he's got a cannon
Yeah,
for an arm and he throws a bomb and that receiver keeps running. So good on them. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. What did you really learn yesterday from USC? You know what I mean? Like, what did you see that was a
yeah.
really new development?
Nothing new.
They're great on offense. They're super fun to watch. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams is great. The skill players are amazing, but I just see the same holes that I saw last year. San Jose
yeah,
State, I mean, you and I were watching that whole first half together yesterday, and San Jose State they had the ball almost the entire first quarter. They were
yeah,
holding on to the ball most of the second quarter. You know what I mean? Like USC
yeah.
was struggling to get off the field defensively.
Hmm.
Like they had some issues with them.
Hmm. And I think one more kind of glaring weak spot for USC that could be um, very bad for this season is their offensive line. Um, I felt like every play, I that's a little bit style Caleb Williams too. He kind of gets out of the pocket, but I mean, it seemed like every play he was scrambling around for his life. And I think San Diego State, I think they had 2 sacks um,
Yeah.
total, but I think that's gonna be another area of concern for USC this season. That O line.
Yeah. I think they had a true freshman on their O line. The guy with
Yeah.
longer hair might have been like
Oh yeah.
66. I don't know. I might have the number wrong, but
Yeah.
he was a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think San Jose State was dialing up some pressure, which it's just tough to say. I don't know. It worked and it didn't, right? USC still gets 56 points,
Yeah.
500
That's
yards of
true.
total offense. So it works to an extent, but um, I don't know. For me, again, the story of their season is going to simply come down to can they get stops on defense when when you have to play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Can you get big stops when you need them? I don't know. I don't know if you can trust the defense or not. I know what the offense can do, but you got to be able to play both sides.
Yeah. I think defensively, I'm shocked that Alex Grinch is still there. I guess I didn't dig too deep into USC for their coaches and stuff, but I would think his job has to be on the line this season. I know Lincoln Riley, he's never been too defensively focused, but just imagine the upside of this team if they could actually have a defense that could tackle.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but the Branch kid, I think he just watching him last night, I think he's going to be a special player. He's true freshman. He's quick as a cat. Just looks like, I mean, just kind of a natural, really just like a natural football player out there with the even from the way he returns the ball, just looks so comfortable on that kickoff return. How he kind of did you see the kickoff return?
Yeah. Yeah, I
How he
did.
kind of just like starts like kind of remind me of like Devin Hester, kind of like I
Yeah.
don't know what you call, but like kind of just like anticipating first couple steps, then he just dove right in. So
Yeah.
he's going to be, if he can stay healthy, he's a smaller guy. I think he's going to be, he could be SEC or not SEC, Pac-12, at least freshman of the year. Maybe not getting too far ahead of myself putting player of the year, but
Is he true freshman?
yeah, he's a true freshman. He's 5-star.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so yeah, he's a player for sure. I think Caleb Williams and him are gonna connect a lot. I was talking with our dad last night, and he made the comparison to like a Tyreek Hill type player, and then I was looking at his recruiting page this morning, and actually that was his comparison was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I know some people were saying Reggie Bush. That guy gave them like Reggie Bush flashbacks, but very very exciting player.
Yeah. No, the offense will be fun to watch again. No doubt about that. That was
Uh-huh.
definitely a takeaway. Plenty of talent there.
But moving on though, I mean the rest of the night you had those smaller ones. You had San Diego State barely outing Ohio. I guess they covered this. It was 2013, so I guess they covered this 3-point spread. And then you had really the other big one, Hawaii Vanderbilt, which actually I'm just gonna say very ugly game. I know you didn't really see much of it, but just seeing every other play was a flag. Hawaii defense a couple of times just looked absolutely atrocious. They let kickoff return to the house. Guy was virtually untouched, just kicks it right a little bit, goes left, virtually untouched. I think that kid though for Vanderbilt, not take away from him, I think he is one of the quickest players in the SEC, but just I think a little bit concerning for if you're Vanderbilt only winning by 7. I know win's a win. I know there's like the game was delayed 2 hours, so there's couple factors there. But I mean, if you're barely beating Hawaii and you expect to compete in the SEC, I don't know. But those were kind of the big, or not the big, but the lesser of 3 or however many games there were. So I don't know. I think that kind of brings our breakdown here, our recap to an end. If you're watching this post record, I appreciate you guys for staying with us this long. We do look to have a podcast coming out this week. Hopefully, I think we're thinking Wednesday. Kind of looking at week 2 action. There's some phenomenal games going on this next weekend. I'm super excited. Florida, Utah kicking off the week on Thursday night. I think that's going to be a really good game. I know Utah's favored by 7, a touchdown. I'm going to do some more research, but right now I think that's really a game that we lost Michael, but I think that's a game that could go either way. But anyway, we'll get into that and more on Wednesday. Again, appreciate you guys watching. We will see you in the next video.